Would you rather be alone in the woods with a bear or a man?
No! God, please, no! No! No!
That's the question on everyone's mind, and the responses might shock you.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear. Man is scary.
With a bear.
What I've heard about bears, they don't always attack you, right? Unless you like fuck with them. So maybe a bear.
Depends what man, but probably a bear.
Oh, 100% a bear, which is like terrifying to say, but
Definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there.
A bear.
I would say a man.
Personally, I think it's a brilliant question because the average person doesn't really think about the possibility of encountering a bear. Thankfully, they're massive creatures, and the first thing that probably pops into your head when you think bear encounter is the image of someone getting mauled.
Was that the bite of 87?
That's why so many of us are taken aback by this question, because we all know that a bear could physically do way more damage than any man, but that's assuming that they're both trying to attack you. No, this is a question about intentions. What's probably even more surprising to a lot of us rational people is that, on second thought, we'd much rather be alone in the woods with a bear than a man. God forbid. Cause the more you think about it, the more sense it makes. And I'm not alone in saying that. The reason this question has gone viral is because the overwhelming consensus seems to be that a lot of women, and just marginalized people in general, would much rather meet a bear in the wild rather than a man. And you know, as someone who's a big fan of a little something called nuance, I'm gonna be the first one to say, not all men. And yes, a very brave thing to say, but mostly because I don't want any of you yapping in my comments. We know it's not all men, no one is saying it's all men. I'm sure a lot of you would be completely harmless, but violence perpetrated by men is a problem enough that women wouldn't want to try their luck. If that is something you think is up for debate,
you need to leave!
Do I think I would be in immediate danger if I met a really nice man in the woods? Let's say Bob Ross. Well, that depends. I'm pretty sure he's dead, so he would probably be a zombie, and I guess that's kind of scary. I'd be all like, Bob Ross, please don't eat my brain. Ah! But that's not the point. This isn't a conversation about Bob Ross, nor your grandpa who wouldn't hurt a fly, allegedly. It's not even a conversation about zombies, though I would be willing to argue that your grandpa might have a few skeletons in his closet. But that's not quite zombies. Let's forget about the obligatory speech about how women can be abusers too, because I wholeheartedly agree, and that is an issue in and of itself. But we can only address one topic at a time, and if I'm being quite honest, all these diversions are telling me that a lot of people just don't get it. Because I've met men that are otherwise very rational, very understanding, very progressive, real feminists, and they just can't seem to wrap their head around the fact that this many women would choose a bear over a man. And I honestly can't blame them. If this was a contest in raw physical strength, then of course the bear would win over a man, but that wasn't the question. It's a question of predictability, and the fact that a significant number of women think bears are more predictable than men should be a wake-up call rather than a challenge. I find it naive to argue you can't reason with bears, because you're implying that men with bad intentions can be reasoned with. You think a man is gonna let you go because you made a good point? Because you used the magic word, solved his little riddle. If a man has his mind set on hurting you in any way, there's nothing, zero, nada, you can say that would dissuade him, especially if he could get away with it.
Let me say this in a language you can understand. No!
Meanwhile, a bear is gonna leave you the f alone as long as you're not perceived as a threat to it or its cubs. There's very clear instructions on what to do if you encounter a bear. Don't panic. If you spot it first, then stay still before quietly walking the other way. If the bear is already aware of your presence, on the other hand, then still don't panic. Whatever you do, don't f***ing run.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Is it scary? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's an animal. An animal with animal instincts, and that's not evil. If you ask me, it's incapable of being evil, because it's a f***ing bear. A bear doesn't have ulterior motives. It's a f***ing bear. The same cannot be said for man.
Triggered.
It's never been a question of, who could I take on in a fight? What it is an absurd question meant to put women's very real fear of men into perspective. It's not a challenge and it's not a debate. If you're a man thinking, why are so many women choosing the bear? Then I beckon you to reflect deeper. Ask women, why would they rather encounter a bear than a man?
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Is it kinda concerning that women are choosing the bear? Absolutely. But what it's telling us is that men are literally less civilized than fucking bears. All the men making memes about how women are gonna be killed by the bear, like you're the reason why they're choosing the bear. Because the bear would be kinder than your fucking misogynistic memes.
He's right, man. You're dorks. Don't even talk to him. Cowabunga!
Although a bear could hurt you really bad, kill you even, there's definitely fates far worse than death. Anyone who's aware of all the gender-based violence, even in the slightest, could tell you that much. And I know a lot of people, men, who said that. I know a lot of people are gonna think this is just women exaggerating, being irrational and so on. Right, here comes the SJWs, the hormone-raging females. This is why women can't be trusted in positions of authority, because they're emotional and clearly irrational if they'd rather be alone with a bear. That me, Kyle Dickinson, who would never hurt a woman. Girl, this hypothetical scenario got me real riled up. Damn you! I don't know why this question got you pressed. If you're not misogynistic, allegedly, why do you feel the need to compete with a bear?
If you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear! Cause that gonna need it.
A lot of people on TikTok and other platforms have shared their reasoning for choosing the bear over the man. And although this is anecdotal evidence at best, I want to share this video by Mandina Blue Eyes.
This morning my sister says to me, not to downplay your experiences, but I think you might have something to say about this whole bear versus man question. One of the times my family and I went camping, I was being stalked by a bear. My mother noticed this and told me on the count of 3 you run to the cabin as fast as you can. I did just that. The bear jumped out of the bushes. The adults were able to chase the bear away. I was safe because the adults in my life noticed and did everything they could to make sure I was safe. Nobody was harmed by this bear. Around the same time frame of my youth, there was a boy at my school who did everything in his power to cause pain to other people. My mother reported this boy because he exposed himself to me. And despite my mother's best efforts and despite the school's efforts, that boy still was able to take advantage and sexually assault me. The same people who were able to protect me from a bear, the adults, were not able to protect me from a boy. One of the first thoughts I had when I started talking to my sister about the man versus bear question is that there would be less of a moral dilemma if you needed to kill the bear.
First of all, I am deeply sorry to Mandina and anyone in the comments who's experienced anything similar. All too often we as a society fail to protect women, little girls, and other vulnerable groups from predators, even when it's right before our eyes. It's prevalent enough that a significant portion of women would rather encounter a bear than risk meeting a man alone in the woods, on the off chance that he isn't this good guy everyone's talking about. You just gotta wonder where's Carl Dickinson's when you need him.
Help the bear!
Let me ask you this. Is the bear gonna rape you?
No, I don't think so.
Is the bear gonna human traffic you?
No.
Is the bear gonna tell you that you were asking for it, dressing like a snack in the middle of the woods? When was the last time you heard someone justify a bear attack? Maybe play devil's advocate and asked what you did to provoke it. What were you doing alone in the woods anyways? You're practically begging to have your face ripped off. Did you just change your mind afterwards? What if the bear didn't do it? What if you're lying? Innocent until proven guilty, right? Cause how do I know you're not lying to me?
Just please swing at me. If you're gonna swing at me, dude. Let me know, because I got a fucking files on top of files to swing back at.
All of these things are said when the perpetrator is a man. Now, if you've been on the side of TikTok discussing the man versus bear question, then you might have heard of the monitor lizard. The monitor lizard, you say? Yeah, the monitor lizard. Just beware, I was extremely disturbed by this story specifically, because I'm extremely squeamish when it involves animals, especially.
Yeah, I sure hope it does.
Now, back in 2022, 4 men were arrested in India after gang raping a monitor lizard before cooking and eating it. Let me repeat that for you. 4 men raped and ate a lizard. And what's worse is that it appears there wasn't a religious or occult motive behind the crime, which wouldn't exactly excuse it, but the thought of 4 guys getting together and doing this for fun, just sends chills down my spine. Why are people bringing up this case? Simply to illustrate the depravity that certain men are capable of. Is it all men? No, I certainly hope not. All we're really saying is that it's somehow always men.
I've connected the 2 dots.
You didn't connect.
I've connected them.
I don't know if I've ever talked about this on my channel, but I'm a bit of a psychic. Yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. For example, I already know that there's gonna be people making the complete unique and never seen before observation that women can be abusers too. Women can be rapists too. Women kill people too. To that I say, you're right. Absolutely. But, first of all, make your own damn video about it. Secondly, you'd have to be willfully ignorant if you can't acknowledge just how disproportionate gendered violence is. I'ma need you to call me back when you find the female equivalent of Andrew f***ing Tate. That's it. That's the video. Remember to like, subscribe, comment what bear breed you would rather meet in the woods or what you like about sexism. I don't know, just engage with my content is all I'm really asking for. You'll find my social media linked in the description. I still have my commissions open if you're interested. That's all I have to say. I'm a f*** off now. Bye!